SMU and Oklahoma meet up in what could be an epic shootout. Two teams that know how to put points on the board did so last week, and we saw some new beginnings for both squads. SMU goes into the Preston Stone era, and Oklahoma is looking to bounce back in year two under Brent Venables. And you saw some good things from both teams, but you also can't take too much away from what they did against inferior opponents. You're looking at teams they faced: Louisiana Tech for SMU and Arkansas State for Oklahoma, two teams that didn't exactly give them much of a challenge. That will be different this week. And it really comes down to what defense can step up the most. That's probably going to be the biggest thing. The biggest question I have for SMU is, do they actually want a shootout? Yes, this is a team that should be able to score points, but is Oklahoma better at doing that? I think that you're looking at an offense run by Rhett Lashley versus one run by Jeff Lebby. And I don't necessarily know if I want that team trying to keep pace with Levy's offense. And you look at last week, even Oklahoma put up 73 points. Now, an argument can be made that you can make an argument both ways. You can make an argument that Arkansas State is worse than Louisiana Tech. You can make an argument that Louisiana Tech is worse than Arkansas State. But I think the fact that Oklahoma put up 73 points tells you that they are a little bit more prepared to put up those kinds of points. And SMU obviously needed a little bit of time to get things going, but is week two enough time for them to be in sync? Are they able to find that chemistry? And is this offense able to get going? We saw some big plays from SMU, but I don't necessarily know if I am SMU, I don't know if I want to get in a shootout with this kind of a team. And it starts with that defense being able to step up to the challenge. You want to slow down this pace as much as possible. And stopping the pass will be a big challenge. Dillon Gabriel is one of the best quarterbacks in college football. The Oklahoma offense threw for 422 yards last week. That's Dillon Gabriel and Jackson Arnold. So what are they able to do to slow that offensive attack down? Because they're gonna score points. There will be no doubt that Oklahoma puts points on the board. It's just a matter of what does SMU do to create turnovers and slow that offense down. Last week we saw them create a couple turnovers and stops that were able to get the ball back to their offense. They will need to do that a lot more this week if they want a chance, because SMU can score points, and maybe it's just Rhett Lashley knows how to call this game. He knows how to exploit Oklahoma's defense. But if you look at Oklahoma's defense, this is a pretty talented Oklahoma defense. So good luck doing that. Then you're looking at what does this team do to kind of slow them down, almost bend but don't break. Creating turnovers is the first one, 3 and outs, or just getting stops on third down, maybe even fourth down. I think that's going to be huge. And that's the same every single year for SMU. Is what does the defense do to help this team out? Because we know the offense can score. As long as Rhett Lashley is the coach here, and even before him with Sonny Dykes, we knew that the offense would score points. It's just that the defense needed to do its part. And if not, you're looking at two offenses that could be really entertaining to watch. And then obviously, then you're looking at Preston Stone versus Dillon Gabriel. And I think these are two of the more exciting quarterbacks in college football. And Preston Stone, we still haven't really seen it much from him just because he's only really played one full game. And Preston Stone is someone who I think can be really good down the road. This will be a big test. We'll see how much further he has to go, how much more development he needs. And going against a guy like Dillon Gabriel will show us, maybe he'll probably get a glimpse of what he can do, learn certain things, the tricks of the trade, if you will, from Dillon Gabriel, how to become a better quarterback and how to get your team in better positions to score points. That'll be the biggest thing there. Decision making will also run a key play, or it'd be a big factor, I should say, in this game. Turnovers will kill drives for both teams. SMU cannot afford to turn the ball over. I think that's more important for them than it is for Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma is the more talented team. I think Oklahoma can afford to have a turnover or two because their defense, I think, is more talented than SMU's. And that's why we're leaning towards Oklahoma here. And it's easy to see why. But as we learned from Colorado in week one, you just don't know what's going to happen. Now, SMU has the firepower to be able to score points against Oklahoma. Oklahoma is now entering year two under Brent Venables, so maybe that defense has things figured out. But turning the ball over will essentially just give Oklahoma the game. And vice versa, if Oklahoma can't take care of the football, that keeps SMU around a team that, again, can score points. And if you give them any sort of boost in confidence, then you're looking at a team that will hang around and give you plenty of trouble. And you simply do not want that. And I think that SMU is a team that can score points. I think that we're going to wait more for a second half team in terms of showing their true potential. I don't think they're going to see that in week 2 with a brand new quarterback, but you never know. Turnovers could make this game very interesting, and that will help this SMU team quite a bit. And again, it comes down to that defense. But the quarterbacks, like I said, will play the biggest role in that. When you look at the amount of talent that they have, I think the first thing for SMU, you look at what Jordan Hudson did last week. 2 catches, and he made the most of it. So you don't have to get a ton of catches or a ton of touches for certain some of these playmakers to make a difference. And you're looking at other guys that can step up. RJ Maryland is a big target. And then at running back, LJ Johnson had a huge game last week. So there's plenty of weapons for this team to utilize. It's just a matter of playing smart and playing within your system, not getting caught up in the spotlight, and letting Preston Stone do what he does best. And so far we've yet to see that because he's still new. So it's not that he's a bad quarterback. It's not that we have concerns. We just don't know what we're going to get from him. And this is a great opportunity for him to showcase his talent and showcase his skill set for the whole world to watch, because I think a lot of people will tune into this game, especially if SMU can get going and get to a fast start and hang around. Then you're looking at a team that will play with confidence. Their quarterback will be making plays, and that will make this game even more entertaining. On the flip side, Dylan Gabriel is someone to me who it's still super underrated. I think a lot of people don't respect what he can do. Now, is he the best NFL prospect? No, not by any means. But if you've ever watched Dylan Gabriel throw a deep ball, that is one of the best treats of college football. I think that he has one of the prettiest deep balls that you will see. And does he have the best arm strength? No, but this man knows how to throw a nice arc, puts a nice touch on the ball, and he's able to hit his guys downfield. And he's done a lot better at also working on his short to intermediate game as well. So this is a guy who is ready to take that next step, who's ready to lead this team back to the top of the Big 12. And in their way is an SMU team that will give them a lot of trouble or also sharpen their game as well. And like I said, there's plenty of other players that will be utilized here. I think that we saw Drake Stoops remind us last week that he is a solid player. He is a valuable contributor to this Oklahoma offense. You look at Jalil Farouk, Andrew Anthony, Austin Stogner. You could go down the list of a number of players that could step up and torch SMU. On the flip side, there are plenty of SMU players that can torch this Oklahoma defense. Now, Oklahoma, like I said, is under that second year under Brent Venables, so I think that they're a little bit tougher group. They also brought in some transfers to help shore things up as well. So it's just going to come down to really the defenses. The defenses are the biggest X factor. I think SMU's defense is the biggest X factor in this game, but both defenses have opportunities to help their team out. They will allow both of their offenses to put more points on the scoreboard. And that really dictates who wins this game because both teams can score points, both teams can move the ball down the field. And then it just comes down to which team's defense, which team's defensive scheme can give their offense more opportunities, give them extra possessions, and get them on the scoreboard even more. Right now, like I said, I am leaning Oklahoma because I think that they have more talent. I think that they are more well put together and they don't have as many concerns as SMU. But I am here for an upset if that happens. It'll be an entertaining game. And I'm just hoping that at least in the second half, we have a back and forth battle. And if it's all 4 quarters, then even better.